has your rap flow style, changed over the years, or have you been consistent with, being a poet and being a, really having messages?
Oh man, I mean, I think it absolutely has changed over the years. You know what I mean? I feel like there's nothing wrong with growing, and as long as you're, like I said, staying true to who you are as an artist, there's nothing wrong with growing and trying something new. So I've definitely, like, if you hear like my first EP or first mixtape to like some of the newer stuff that I'm dropping now, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, you can hear the difference in it. The content and the messaging is the same, you know what I mean? It's just delivered in what I feel is a more polished and digestible way. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah. Living our value, or you living yours. I know that it's hard, don't settle for
All right,
pause. We
guys.
always fall
This
and
is
we
Noel
on the
Austin
path.
here with R.Q.TEK, and just here to chop it up and talk about music, talk about his Shade Crew, talk about the new singles, talk about what's going on with him. So introduce yourself to the people that don't know you.
yo, what up, y'all? I go by the name of R.Q.TEK. A rapper, host, black man, dreamer, all these wonderful and beautiful and amazing things. And yeah, I'm just happy to have this conversation today.
All right, man, no problem. So, officially, like, where are you from officially, and do you feel like where you're from, like, molded your sound and music, kind of?
It's crazy because I grew up in a very middle class neighborhood. I grew up in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, in New York. So for those who's not familiar with that area, like it's diverse. You got white people, black people, Hispanics, Asians. Like it's very mixed in that area. I wasn't middle class though. me and my mother, we was poor. We just was, had a blessed situation. But yeah, I definitely feel like my area influenced who I was. My favorite rapper was Nas. I grew up, just wanted to be a lyricist. You know what I mean? Just all that New York energy that I'm sure y'all seen at the verses and the Dipset versus
Yeah,
the
but
Locks.
this
You know
said,
what I mean? Like it was
uh,
it was that energy that we had in the lunchroom where we was freestyling, battling each
yeah,
other and everything. So yeah, my city definitely had a big influence on me as an artist and the type of artist I like to be.
yeah, it's giving me big Bodega Tim energy. It's giving me big Bodega Tim energy, Black Tim's in the winter energy.
That's
Uh,
exactly it, bro.
exactly. Okay, so New York, Upper East Side, Manhattan. You said. So molding you, it molded you. It kind of, you touched on Nas. So now being like you're an artist, an officiated artist. Do you think you kind of took that and molded it and made it your own, or are you like, nah, I'm a lyricist, or did you kind of like make it your own?
Um, I definitely made it my own. Cause bro, when I first started, I didn't have money for beats. You know what I mean? So I was just flipping the industry beats. I was taking like any Jay-Z joint that he had, and I was putting my own version. And I mean, one of the songs that really impacted me was Nas's One Mic. That was the first time like I truly felt that, yo, I have a voice. I can, the
Yeah.
power of the microphone is very strong, and it was in that moment, that album Stillmatic, that I was like, yo, I kind of want to rap. Like it started off for fun, and it developed. I mean, I could be real, bro. Like when I first started, I was definitely just trying to copy other people's flows who I heard. I was
Yeah.
certain records I would try to sound like Nas on, certain records I would try to sound like Jay, but I think as I got older and really started to come into my own, really started to embrace me and love me for me, that's
Yeah.
when I really started to find my own sound.
Yeah, I mean, I think nowadays we definitely see a lot of artists try to mimic these different sounds because they think, oh, well, it worked for this person, so if I do it, then that works. So as an
Yeah.
artist, is it kind of hard not to mimic, or is it harder to kind of find your own foundation as like an artist? Like, is that kind of
Um,
harder?
I don't think it's harder to find your own foundation. I think it really depends on, you got to first realize who you are as a person. You know what I mean? And then once you realize who you are, then you can figure out what type of artist do you want to be and portray it into your music or your craft or whatever. Bro, I remember I was like I said, I was trying to be other people, man. Like growing up, I had self-esteem issues. I had life issues. I was a follower. I keep it a buck. Like
Yeah.
I was trying to hang with the cool kids and whatnot. And it wasn't until I fully embraced who I was and I was comfortable being me and I started to really love me and I started to talk about that on records that's when I realized people was like related to what, I've been through or stuff I've thought about. And I was like, dang, I didn't know I was relatable, you know what I mean? And then once you kind of like figure out who you are, like I said, and you bleed that into the music, then it just starts to come naturally. And I think I'm not gonna say a lot of people are afraid to be themselves. I think you sometimes have people who get pushed by, by a machine or start a certain way and then end up turning into something that they may not have originated, just because something blew up and they said, all right, so we're gonna try to make you this type of artist.
Yeah.
But it's something just pure about just being yourself. No matter what that might be. People gonna love you, people gonna hate you, just be you.
For sure, you have to kind of stay true. I feel like a lot of artists don't really, like you said, don't really stay true, fall into the machine and like, yo, this works, so now you have to be that, even though like you only did that once and you really didn't like it, but if that works, now you gotta be that for like the rest of your career, because it's like you made one trap song, now you have to be that for the rest of your career because that's what's so. So for a lot, so how would you really describe your style? Because it's like, there's different subgenres when it comes to rap. You have, trap, you have down south trap, you go out west, you have this, the beats change, everything changes. And you go to New York, obviously every time you go to New York, you think it's the boom bap, really basic, really like, hey, kid, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That type of rap. So like, has your rap flow style, changed over the years, or have you been consistent with, being a poet and being a, really having messages?
Oh man, I mean, I think it absolutely has changed over the years. You know what I mean? I feel like there's nothing wrong with growing and, as long as you're, like I said, staying true to who you are as an artist, there's nothing wrong with growing and trying something new. So I've definitely like, if you hear like my first EP or first mixtape to like some of the newer stuff that I'm dropping now, I mean, you can hear the difference in it. The content and the messaging is the same, you know what I mean? It's just delivered in what I feel is a more polished and digestible way. But yeah, like I would say my sound it's always hard when somebody like, yo, so like, how would you put yourself as? I always look at what people have told me. Yeah. I've been told many times I'm like a mix of J. Cole meets Common. Mm-hmm. If you somehow put these two together in a blender and then make a cassette tape and you put it in the boom box, I guess that's the type of sound that'll come from.
Yeah, nah, you really have like this strong, like listening to your music, you have like this strong like voice of like a poet. Like it made me think about like when I was in high school and we had to listen to poets and we had poets come and talk. Like you have like this really strong poetic voice and it has a message. And I think a lot of music now, like music is always changing, always evolving, but it's kind of is like kind of been backed into the shadows of like really being a poet and what rap and hip hop was, in the beginning. So I think that for sure is there. It's really prominent in your music.
I used to be like heavy on the poetry scene. Like I used to be straight up like on some spoken word tip. Me and my mans, he went by the name of Godchild at the time. We would hit up the New Eureka Poets Cafe. Yeah, my bro Jai Poetic would host at the time, and we would every Wednesday we was there, sign up for the slam. And I think I always did music, but it was in this portion of my life, maybe like late teens, that is when I really started to appreciate lyricism, like fully. Because when you strip down the music, when it's just like I said, poetry is very free. There's no right or wrong way to do poetry. Yeah. It doesn't have to rhyme. It don't have to be performed. It doesn't have to be theatrical like this. It could be something calm and chill, or it could be something majestic. You know what I mean? And I think that when I started doing that is when I really started to appreciate, like deep down, like bars and lyricism, everything like that. And from that, I feel like that transition when I fully started doing music like heavy into like my performance aspect. Because you know when you, I don't know if you're like familiar with the spoken word scene, but like, you know, when you slamming, you gotta have something to say. You gotta deliver it well.
Yeah.
Like your delivery, your cadence, all of that is a part of the performance aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's really the emotion. Like when it comes to like slam and like poetry, like you said, it's like you have to feel it. Like you have like that emotion. Like the audience is feeling what you're feeling through
Yeah.
your words, and it's kind of like, oh, I heard. Like when someone has a nice bar, you like when Hope had a nice bar, you're like, oh, I felt that. You drive it, you like, oh, I felt what he was trying to tell me. So for sure, you like that. So that feeling of just like, ooh, like I knew what he was trying to say and I heard it. I know what he was saying. And so, but speaking of poetry, tapping into poetry, you have a crew, the Radiant Shade crew. Would you like to kind of delve into that? How it started, kind of what it is,
For sure, bro.
Who were in it?
So Radiant Shade Crew originally was just an open mic that I started here in New York, bro, 10 years ago, 2011. Yeah, I was a kid, man, and
You were a kid. I was a kid.
It kind of just like stumbled in my lap. Like someone was working at a comedy club down around 14th Street, and they knew I did music, and they were looking to have something like in a 2-hour block. So they were like, yo, you want to host an open mic or something? I'm like, all right, at that time I'm hungry. I'm just trying to hit up every open mic I can. So I ended up doing that, and bro, just from that growing, like really at one point we had it every Thursday. Then I realized that was incredibly tiring when you're starting off on your own. So I went from doing every week to once a month. Mm-hmm. And from doing that, we ended up moving to another spot in Brooklyn, where we really grew, and it just became like a place where people come to perform at an open mic, but you really leave there with legit family. There's so many people that I've met that are still like my family today. Like I'm talking about cats who been rocking with me since the beginning. When I started that, where I've hosted their wedding, or I've been groomsmen and all of that. So it's crazy that I've had that privilege to see it grow from that. But like I said, it started off as just an open mic. It kind of developed into just like a media brand now. Even like right now, we're pushing the levels of it now, where it's not just the open mic. We put on events like concerts. We collaborate with certain people. So like this past Sunday, me and the Radiant Shade crew, we collaborated with Life of UGA, which is created by my brother Frank Knight, and we put on a concert game night party. It was 3 events in one. It was a venue that we rented out, 3 levels of it in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and it was an amazing event, successful. So along with that, the next couple of things we have planned is to start giving like, I don't want to say advice, but think of like short TED Talks on like things I guess I've learned from being an independent artist, such as like how to present yourself to certain venues, how to get booked at a state, how to have proper performance etiquette, the type of performance track you should have, as Jada was talking about at the verses again, where he was like, stop, don't rap over your vocals, like have a performance track, a TV track, how to make a press kit, how to get stuff on playlists on Spotify and all that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just trying to expand the brand as much as I can.
Cool. So it seems like it grew from like a really tight-knit community situation, and now it's this like you said, this expanding into like this media like conglomerate of, like you said, having a party, and then you having ciphers and all like 3 events in one building. And that's something really dope, especially for the city. Like, like to have that sort of community, like you just said, like it's a really strong knit community ordeal. And I think that is, that for any artist to start that and to going on how long? You said 11 years?
10. It'd be 11 in February.
Dog, that is so to be consistent, man. That's some goat time.
Here's the thing too, we weren't even consistent because there was a good time where we had like major venue issues. So we had to take major breaks. And when we came back, this is where I knew like it was bigger than just an open mic when we brought it back at a point, and we had, on average, we would bring out like 60, 70 people. And we had that joint packed. People would get their 7 for the open mic, get their 7 on the dot, and just wait online because they know like we only let the first 15 people go on. Anyone after that is if we have time. And people was lining up like being official, like, nah, I gotta get there. Let me sign my name. And at the time we was deep in Brooklyn, bro. We was the L train to New Lots Ave. That's Brownsville. You know what I mean? And we had cats coming from Yonkers, cats coming from Philly, the Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, and it was just a blessing. And so when we came back, we had like that plus more. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Like we took a break and people still like, and like I said, I really realized people just love the experience of going there. People knew that when you go there, it's a judgment-free zone. You could do a rap, you could sing a song. Hell, if you mess up, people still gonna support you. Yo, you got it, bro. You got it.
Yeah.
Like it was no competition, no hate. Everyone was showing genuine love.
That's dope. Is there like, is Radiant Shade Crew like the first of its kind really in the city? Because New York is big. New York City is big. So is it like the first thing to have like that type community type feel? Like, have you ever been to, another spot to where like, oh, this is cool, but it's not like this tight knit group? Because in Atlanta, it's really hard to find something like that. So it's like, is Radiant Shade Crew like an anomaly in the city where it's like it's not really a lot of them?
I probably would say it's not too many things like that where when you just hear the brand, you just know what to expect. You know what I mean? Granted, like there's a lot of spots I went to when I was younger that always was, you didn't go there just for the performance, it was just to perform, it was the experience, it was the people you knew you were going to see. You was going, yo, how you been? Da, da, da. One of these spots was called Urban Juke Joint.
Yeah.
And it was a super dope spot that was put on by these two brothers, Ken and Lloyd. And it was just, like I said, just a place where you could have a long day, you come in, just vibe out with people you didn't know, meet new people. Just share an experience together. I mean, there's probably like a handful of spots in New York like that. I think right now it's even harder because of like, with the pandemic and everything, there's a lot of venues and there's a lot of things that shut down or have been put on pause. But, this past season, me and my team, we just looked at trying to move effectively and efficiently and, in the safest ways we can, putting on event shows and just learning how the business is now with this, new addition in life.
Exactly. We all trying to, get used to the new normal, like doing interviews over Zoom. You know what I'm saying? We all trying to cope with this new normal. To spin dials here, I want to talk about, your recent upcoming music. Like, I've listened to the single Cheers, thoroughly enjoyed it. I forgot the young lady who was featured on the song.
I am Chelsea. I am. That's my sis right there.
She did her thing on that record too. So I just want to ask you. I just want you to talk about that single. I mean, kind of what it means to you, and kind of does it set the foundation for like the music we can hear in the future from you?
First, real quick, shout out to my sis. I am Chelsea. I am. We always do music together. We always rocking out, touring together. She also just dropped an album called Beautiful Struggle. She's about to go on tour. I'm about to be like joining her. So, make sure you follow me, you catch them dates and whatnot. You might actually have Atlanta on the bill soon too. I'm gonna holler at you. Bro, it came together. Honestly, I wrote it maybe 3 weeks before I dropped it. Mm-hmm. It was in December because I dropped it New Year's Day, 2021. Because I wanted it to be a celebration of, we made it through 2020. Yeah. And as it was for everyone, 2020 was crazy. For me as an independent artist, I still have a day job, but I was in the process of, I was about to leave that job. I was making good money from all aspects of touring, doing shows, hosting other people's shows, hosting my own shows, music, purchases and stream. Like I was good. I was decent.
I was good.
Yeah. And then I had my day job. So I was at a place where I was comfortable enough where if I left my day job, course, I got to pull back on certain things, but I was able to do that, which, you know, any creative would love to do that, just heavily focus on their art, their passion. Month later, pandemic came, so it kind of clipped everything. One by one, I started seeing, we couldn't even finish the tour we was on. I was on a tour promoting my last album called Can We Love. We did half of it and couldn't finish the rest. And like I said, one by one, gigs started getting canceled. And then it's like nothing was going on in New York. And it was the first time where I just was not active in my career as far as like performing wise, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, bro, it affected me, man. Like mentally, I was in a state where I was just like, I didn't want to write. I was just going to work and coming home. And I would joke around with my people that I was like, yo, I just felt regular. Like I just felt like I was just doing something I don't care. I just felt like what I've seen my parents go through. You know what I mean? Doing a day job, coming home, doing a day job, coming home. And it messed with me heavy. And then, because I produce as well, a lot of the records that I have out, I produced. And I was just making beats one day, and then, you know, I'm chopping up a record, and I don't know if you perform or rap, bro, but like when you hear a beat and it just do something, like, yo, I gotta write real quick. So you just pull out the phone, man. You just get the going with it, and it kind of just went from there. And I let my sis hear it, and she was like, because she's naturally a singer. She'll rap every now and again, but she's predominantly a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
I let her hit a record. She was like, yo, this is hard, bro. Hey, you got any space? And by this time, I already wrote my second verse. I'm like, I mean, yeah, let me see what you got. Let's
yeah, you can hop on it, you know what I'm saying?
So she hopped on, killed it, did her thing. And then, you know, I had my boy, ZXP, shout out to him, had him mix and master it. And then we dropped that joint New Year's Day. And then just like the push was going on from there. I sent it to a couple homies that I have on, like, shout out to DJ Tony Tone on Hot 97. He plays Street Glory every Sunday morning. He spun the record that first Sunday. That Monday, the bro Rich Nice, who was on Shade 45, Sway in the Morning and all that, he played the record chair. So it was after a long 2020, to start off New Year's Day, just got a new track. It's getting good traction, good spins and all that, good write-ups. I was like, yo, I like how this is going. You know what I mean? Like, it's still rough outside, but this is a good way to start this year off. Yeah. So it was just a celebration. It was me getting off all of 2020 off my chest.
Yeah, kind of just letting it all out and just putting it all out there. And it's like, there, I'm, you know, and we're moving on to the next. It's just like, y'all can have it. Man. So cheers. So what new music are you working on? Are you trying new sounds? Are you, you know, album, EP, singles, something for the people to listen to?
Yes. This is actually like the perfect time for things to line up. I am finishing up a new EP. It's going to be called Sofa Sessions. It is not just what my 2020 was, but what my quarantine was. Talking about me pushing myself to work harder and things. Talking about me feeling mentally drained. Talking about quarantine bays and how that didn't work out. You know what I mean? How you fall in love, but then you realize it wasn't love. You know what I mean? Those type of situations. Yeah, bro. I'm really excited for this project. I think this project is probably the deepest I've been just on a lot, because I'm really touching topics that, you know, maybe only like my close friends know about me. So like people who are familiar with my music, I do feel like some people will be like, oh wow, okay, dang, you good, bro. For those who haven't heard my music, I think hopefully it'll be something that they can relate to, something that they can be inspired by. You know, yeah, we have some like bounce tracks where it's like, you know, you're gonna hear flow, you're gonna hear different cadences, you're gonna hear bars. Yeah, just good music that you can relate to, something that you can sit in the crib, vibe out to. Some records you could really meditate to, and hell, even some records you could even go in the gym and just like work out to and
knock
just go
out. You know what I'm saying? Got a little pre-workout. I'm like, you know what? I could probably knock out another set or something. To this.
Yeah, man. I got a track specifically in mind. Like I could see people doing that called Work Ethic.
Yeah.
That I think that I had a chance to perform that a couple of times now. Like I've been testing out new records on different performances, recent performances. So I'm excited for like when that joint drops. And along with that, I'm switching up my rollout. I think that's what's going to be different from other projects.
Okay.
With this rollout, pretty much every song has a video. Okay. And it's gonna almost be rolled out. Probably we still working on like dates on when to drop, but I want to roll it out as like a series. You know what I mean? I don't know if you. I'm sure you're familiar with the guy, Toby Nwigwe.
Yeah.
You know how he had like he would every Sunday he would drop.
Yeah.
And it would be a new record or something like that. It's gonna be something in the vein like that, but still very unique and different, which I feel encompasses what the quarantine was to me. So I'm excited, man. Like I'm really excited. I'm excited to be performing these new records for people to hear it, man. You know what I mean?
So given these new records, this new EP is a lot of quarantine. Like you said, it's the deepest that you've ever gone. Did you, given that everyone was in quarantine, we were all like by ourselves and we had time to think to ourselves, would this be sort of like a therapeutic thing or a therapeutic session of like your or all like the pent up emotions, like you said, quarantine bays, love, out of love? Is that all of that kind of emotion wrapped into an EP and you just like, I gotta get rid of all this emotion?
Oh man, did somebody leak the EP to you, bro? That's exactly what that is, man. Yes, it's even going with the title track. There's a song called Sofa Sessions, which kind of deals with that. That is almost like my therapy session. You know what I mean? Like even with like my thoughts of, yo, I would like to go and try out therapy, but I'm also a person who has trust issues, and I'm also a person where I want to do it because I think it is and I've seen a lot of people, a lot of homies that I know who go to therapy, you know what I mean? But it's also like knowing the person I am, sometimes I could be hesitant on things. So it's like me, like I said, stepping out of my comfort zone and me embracing certain things in my life. And yeah, man, it's me mentally giving you a session of therapy.
Okay, a session. Okay, I feel it because I think everybody has I feel like therapy is different forms for different people. And when it comes to a lot of artists, some artists do go to therapy, but some artists are like, you know what? My therapy is getting rid of this emotion by putting it in something. So I kind of I was like, maybe this is what it is. I wish I had the leak of the album. I wish I had a leak, but no, like I understand it because we all during quarantine kind of had this kind of euphoric moment, or a majority of people that I know had this like, oh man, like let me change this about myself. Let me kind of let go of all of these emotions. So I think the project is gonna sound amazing if it's anything like that. That hard and emotional, deep state. I feel like a lot of artists should go deep because vulnerable music is something that a lot of people want to hear. You have people like Juice WRLD, people like all these rappers now where it's really like deep, like people want that. So I think that is a really great concept for an EP and album that you have. So before we head up out of here, I'm not gonna keep you too long. You run that New York time, the city that never sleeps. Like every true urban culture interview, we love to ask, what does true urban culture mean to you in your eyes?
Just being real. It's authentic. No, it's not something that's not a facade. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different levels of our culture. It's just embracing it and being real, being honest with it, not being ashamed of it. I definitely feel like to true urban culture is exactly that, is embracing our Blackness, is embracing our lyricism, is embracing our dance music. It's like I said, there's a whole bunch of different things that we're embracing. That's part of our culture, not negating or pushing one aside. Just coming together and just being us, man. Just being us, being real.
All right, man. Well said. If I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, this wraps it up. This is the end. But this is not the end. This is not the last time we probably will see each other. So ladies and gentlemen, RQTEK, thank you so very much for
Thank you, bro.
sitting down talking to me over Zoom. We got to get something in person. We got to be outside. We got the shots, we got the vaccinations.
Yeah.
We got to be outside with it. But it's been a pleasure as always. To Tuck Fam, this is it. All love from Atlanta. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you for extending the hand and sharing and taking the time to even talk to a New York cat like me, man. Thank you, bro.
Keep it real in Atlanta. I'm good. We good. It's hot down here. We good. I got you. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. Yo, be blessed, bro.
You too, man.
Value every day, living my 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 value every day.